Lagi mong sinisiguradong patas. Lagi mong inuuna kung anong dapat. Hindi mo kayang malunok ang katotohanang marami pa rin tayong kababayang gutom at walang tahanan. Kaya hindi ka tumigil sa paglaban. Harapin ang kahirapan. Tulungan ang nangangailangan. Basagin ang korupsyon na kanilang nakasanayan. Sa loob at labas, man ng Pinas, bakas na bakas ang iyong tapang puksain ang mga problema ng bansa. Gamit ang lakas, gamit ang isip, gamit ang puso. Kung para sa mamamayang Pilipino, si MP, wala yang sinisino. Manny Pacquiao.
Valoria goes left. Valoria flips it up and in!
Orlan Lamar, but Lamar gets the step and the finish.
Hail Mary. June Manzo will fire.
Oh my goodness!
June Manzo all the way from
Serrano, Bebuelo, Serrano with the basket. Fuentes, no hesitation, gets it to go!
Welcome back to the Rosales B. Estrella Senior Memorial Stadium in Rosales, Pangasinan for the second game of our Monday triple header dito sa Maharlika Pilipinas Basketball League, ang Liga ng Bawat Pilipino. We are back here, day 2 of our MPBL Season 7, and it's going to be an exciting matchup once again. We earlier witnessed Pindoro lose to the Imus Brotherhood in a spirited comeback by the Imus squad. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Javi Palanya, joined by Coach Mike Perez. Coach Mike, ang ganda ng laban kanina, and of course, we're excited to see another great game today here in the matchup of last season's Northern Division quarterfinals.
Yeah, and it just goes to show yung changes sa mga player roster ng mga teams. It's not a guarantee. It's chemistry that actually would determine who's going to be successful this season.
Well, we're going to talk about the rosters later on, pero pakinggan muna natin ang ating courtside reporter, Ms. Mika Abesames, who is at courtside.
You know what, Javi, Coach Mike, these two teams have actually faced each other several times, kaya sanay na sila sa sistema ng isa't isa. Biro nga ni Warren Bonifacio, 4th game na daw nila ito. Pasay won one elimination game last season, while Nueva Ecija won 2 quarterfinals games. So pang-apat na nga daw ito. But generally, you know what, Coach Don Dulay had a really good offseason. He acquired really good frontline and backcourt players. Specifically, itong si Hamito at saka si Marcelino. But you know what? Ang Pasay, they are very happy to still have Bonnie with them because a lot of teams have actually offered him. At ang tawag niya dito is the Coach M effect. I will tell you more about that in just a bit. Have you, Coach Mike?
That's going to be very interesting to find out later on. Pag-usapan muna natin ang lineup ng Nueva Ecija Rice Vanguards. As Mika already mentioned, they have added Jammer Hamito and of course the Marcelino twins into the mix. Of course, former league MVP JC Marcelino is at the forefront of that alongside another former MVP in John Wilson.
Well, let alone the holdovers. Yung mga na-add nila, Jammer Hamito, to your point, JC Marcelino, and JB Tancinco. And man, if you have Bobby Balocanag coming back, and that's going to be a really good added talent on the roster of Coach Don Dulay this season.
We'll see how this affects and impacts the Nueva Ecija Rice Vanguards mega bet coming into Season 7. Well, meanwhile, let's talk about the Pasay Voyagers who have retained their 2 stars. Nasabi na nga ni Mika kanina yung isa, si Warren Bonifacio and of course, Lawrence Victoria.
Well, you can make an argument na big 3 talaga yan. Si Warren, si Lawrence, at saka si Don. Pero yung dagdag na Barcuma, Sara, Lakap, Sanko, Chavez, and Jordan Rios, this is a defensive additional firepower para dito sa Pasay team.
Pwede natin pagtagalin pa. Let's go to Miguel Pere for the start of this game.
Nueva Ecija Rice Vanguards Mega Bet. Starting at forward number 23, Christian Manaytay. Center number 1, Jammer Hamito. Also at forward number 51, Big Bang Toto, Byron Villarias. One guard number 19, JV Marcelino. And a 2 guard number 3, JC Marcelino. The head coach for the Rice Vanguards is Don Dulay. Assistant coaches Rob Wainwright, Matt Macalintal, Arnold Oliveros, Jonathan Uyloan, and Rick Sison. Assistant team managers Jen Dignadice. Team managers Raymond Dizon. Team owners are Ivan Cuevas, Ryan May Cuevas, and Mr. Bong Cuevas. Now, the starting five for the Pasay Voyagers. Starting at guard, number 77, Dan Sara. Forward number 18, Jopet Soriano. Also at forward number 9, AJ Coronel. Coming in at center, number 4, Warren Bonifacio. And at two guard, number 1, Lawrence Victoria. The head coach for the Pasay Voyagers is Marlon Keith Martin. Assistant coaches Vic Escudero, Hubert De Los Santos, Adrian Bocal, Don Morteno, and Willie Generalao. Team consultant is Ramon Martin. Team owners are Raul Bacalso, Mickey Ligot, Lavin Castro, JD Castro, and Dian Calixto Rubiano.
Our starters of this game brought to you by 1xBet. Nueva Ecija will be beginning with the Marcelino twins, JV and JC, alongside another new recruit in Jammer Hamito and Christian Manaytay. Byron Villarias rounds out the starters for Coach Don Dulay. On the other side, Coach M will be starting with Dan Sara, Lawrence Victoria, Warren Bonifacio, Jopet Soriano, and AJ Coronel. Welcome to Game 2 of our Monday triple header here in the Robert B. Estrella Senior Memorial Stadium in Rosales, Pangasinan. Javi Palanya and Coach Mike Perez, bringing to you the action here, and Coach and Mika Abisames is at courtside. Coach Mike, this is going to be a very interesting matchup, especially with the new additions of both squads.
Yeah, interesting kasi sila yung nag-meet last season sa quarterfinals in their division, and Pasay got swept, and this is a different story altogether this season. They've got a lot of new additions to create more help for the Pasay Voyagers team.
And actually, not just last year, they also faced each other in the playoffs a couple of seasons ago.
Right. And so very perennial na magkalaban. If you want to advance into the playoffs, you got to go against each other eventually in the playoffs.
Jammer Hamito scoring his first point as a Nueva Ecija Rice Vanguard here at the first free throw. Hamito, formerly of the South Cotabato Warriors last year, who are now known as the Jensen Warriors, back again to their old name. They will be seeing action in the coming days. These two squads, Coach, anong malaking expectation mo para sa parehong kupunan now that they have these new players in tow?
Ako, sa Pasay, I feel it's going to be defense. That vital. You getting Jordan Rios and Barcuma on the team really spells a lot of defense, and for them to be able to perform that way, it would make them easier to execute on the offensive side of the floor.
Villarias, specialty of the house, doesn't fall. 2-0 here in the early goings. Barely a minute gone by here in the first quarter. AJ Coronel had the intention to give it to Jopet Soriano, but ball is with Lawrence Victoria from the outside. Masyado yung malakas. On the other side, it fell back in the hands of Jopet Soriano. Shot clock did not reset. Coronel to the corner. Sara, three-pointer. Yes, sir.
Pasay last season has not been so good in the 3 points. They're averaging only 29% from that area. With these guys like Dan Sara coming along, nagkakaroon ng panibagong look, no? And it helps stretch out that defense, so it's easier for dribble penetrators to attack the lane.
Sara last year played for the Bataan Risers, now donning the pink and blue para sa Pasay Voyagers. And the Pasay Voyagers right now force a turnover.
Tsaka ang strength talaga ng Pasay last year are the starters. They're actually getting almost 50 points per game from their starters, and they gotta get more help coming off the bench. And they've been very efficient with the ball too.
Ball tapped out of bounds. Warren Bonifacio almost got that pass, but last touch on Nueva Ecija. 13 to work with here for Pasay. Coronel barely got that inside to Bonifacio. Warren crossover. Trouble with that basketball. Eventually, Jammer Hamito got his hands on it. It's going to be a held ball situation. Possession arrow pointing the side of the Voyagers.
Pero ramdam mo yung depensa nitong Nueva Ecija Rice Vanguards. Sure, you talk about their offensive strength, pero defensively, they're pretty good as well.
Bonifacio 6-3. That has been one of his key assets. Consistent outside shooting. Ito si Warren Bonifacio. And I'm excited to hear from Mika why he was able to stay here with his squad. It's no question why he was offered by most teams here in the league coming into this season.
And why not? Si Warren is one big guy that stretches the floor, can play outside, can distribute, has good vision, and if you leave him, he can knock it down as well. Just like this one, he slips the screen, defense gets sucked in, he goes up, he makes the shot.
And coach, in the point guard position, no more Axel Inigo for this Pasay
Right.
squad, but you just saw on that last replay, it's now Dan Sara directing traffic here for the Voyagers. He's the starting point guard in this game, and that looks to be the case for most of the games this year. What is the change in that role here for the Pasay Voyagers? What did Axel Inigo bring, and what does Dan Sara bring to the table now?
Well, actually, Inigo brings a lot of familiarity para dito sa Pasay last season. He was their designated leader. He kept them in the game, knocked down threes in very crucial parts of certain games from last season. Now, Dan Sara, iba naman ang leadership na pinoprovide nito. Offense and defensive end, he's gonna be there to try and contribute. And the thing is, he's also got help in Felipe Chavez. That guy is a spunky guard as well that could help out the guard rotation of Coach Marlon Martin.
And that's definitely going to be a very interesting combination to watch. This guard combination of the Pasay Voyagers has definitely increased its depth. May not be so in terms of offensive firepower, but in terms of the defense, that is something that is going to be very exciting to watch.
Oh, tsaka one thing that you notice with this season compared to last year, wala kasing Balti-Baltasar ngayon. So every guard position is going to be crucial.
Take a look at this assist of the game brought to you by 1xBet. The feed going to Jammer Hamito for the 2 points. Bonifacio once again given space. Fails to go two straight from the outside. Christian Manaytay. Another new big man here para kay Coach Don Dulay. Gets it forward to Villarias. In Byron Villarias. Have we missed him knocking down those outside shots?
I mean, sure, he missed that too, making those shots from the outside. He's one of those shooters na pagka-elevate po lang, alam mo na na diretso, and his shot looks good.
But last year, Coach, you know, he really struggled a lot from three-point country. Byron Villarias, after that magical season that the Rice Vanguards had, of course, when they were still under Coach Jerson Cabiltes 3 seasons ago, winning the championship, Villarias was an integral part of that lineup. And right now, Villarias off to a good start in this game with that 3-point shot here in the first quarter.
And it's very important for Coach Don Dulay to see Byron and the other shooters, including John Wilson, to knock down those threes. Why? Because they were 26 in terms of 3-point attempts last year, averaging only almost 24 attempts per game, and they make roughly about 7 or 8 of them. And so you expect more from that, especially if you got legit shooters in both of those guys.
That's a legit shooter right there. Lawrence Victoria, though, he fails to hit Marcelino. That's JV behind the back to JC, but that pass picked off. Here come the Voyagers. Coronel on the right side gets the lob and finishes for the Deuce.
And how many times has AJ Coronel actually benefited to showing his athleticism because of timely passes from Lawrence Victoria?
Hamito over the defense of Jopit Soriano. He's off to a good start as well. 6 points in the game. 6 of the 9 for the Nueva Ecija Rice Vanguard. They're up by 1.
I'd say that's a mismatch right there underneath by Soriano against Jammer Amita. Jammer really just has so much experience and a lot of mobility as well, including strength.
Now, offensive foul called on Warren Bonifacio. I thought that was a big rebound that he caught against Jammer. Unfortunately, there was contact seen by our officials. Take a look at this last play. Victoria ahead to AJ Coronel. These two definitely very familiar with each other. Marcelino, the pocket pass to Hamito. That's something that we're going to see a lot this season para sa Nueva Ecija.
Right. And both these teams, might I say, have very well-cultured teams. I mean, you've got management that's in full support. The coaching staff understand their players. As Byron once again knocks it down from the outside, and you can only shake your head, Javi. And I do understand that because we've been missing him.
that was a sight that we saw very often. I say, just like I said earlier, the past 3 seasons, but really more so in that championship run that they had. Pero yun nga, after that, bihira natin nakikita yung ganyang streaky shooting ni Byron. Because he was always in and out of the lineup because of the injuries. And I'm sure that this season, he's definitely very motivated to get back to his old form.
Saka napaka-importante yan, yung mga made shots from the outside. Just like this one right here.
Brian Hilario hitting it from top of the circle. These two teams showing off very good condition here in the first 5 minutes of this game.
And they're shooting so good from 3 that it's even so much better than their season average from last year.
Cyrus Tabi with a fake reverses short. The ball tapped. It ends up with Villarreal. Off and running now are Nueva Ecija. The Rice Vanguards get it to Manaytay. And he is fouled. He will go to the line for 2 shots.
And Christian's gonna be fed a lot of times, speaking of Manaytay, because he's a guy that can actually run the floor alongside the twins.
This is the 3-point shot brought to you by Extreme One-Stop Shop Appliances. Brian Hilario hitting it from 3.
3 or 4 times already, we've seen that dribble penetration, suck in that defense, and allowing their shooter bigs from the outside to just, stay in their camp and wait for that ball to get to them and comfortably knock down shots.
Christian Manaytay makes his first free throw. There you see Bosbong Cuevas and his wife watching courtside here in support of their squad, the Nueva Ecija Rice Vanguards. I'm sure that they were able to communicate to their team that they are very clear that they want to win the championship again this season.
Yeah, and they were, a couple of possessions away from actually upsetting the defending champions from last season, who eventually became the champs. In Pampanga. It was too tough.
Turnover for Pasay. Costello is in the game for the first time for Coach Don Dulay. JC goes for 3. That's no good. There's going to be a foul called against Jammer Hamito on the loose ball.
Lalim rin talaga ng guard rotation nitong Nueva Ecija. Ryan Costello coming off the bench. And he is right now alongside JC. And you've got Tyrone Chan coming in, who is also, like Warren Bonifacio, loves to slip screens from the top and knock down shots.
And there you see the 3-point field goal story so far, a combined 6 out of 11 for both of these teams. Pasay is at 4 out of 7. Joey Barcuma in the game for the first time, former Zamboanga guard. This is Mark Sanko, former CSB Blazer. Couldn't get his first shot to drop here for Pasay.
Oh no.
Villarreal, can he go for 3-pointer number 3? No good.
And guess who was there to defend it? Jordan Rios. I mean, that's one of the scrappiest guys you could see here in the MPBL.
Played last year for the Mindoro Tamaraos. Rios on that dunker spot. Rios spins to the other side. At may mapuputukan ng personal foul.
And you always have to really just marvel at guys like Jordan Diaz, role players that actually don't complain about anything and just keeps doing their stuff consistently night in and night out. He was a vital rotation for Mindoro last year.
3 minutes and 12 remaining here in the first quarter. Hilario gets the inbound pass. Tosi Tancinco, isa sa mga bagong player rin ni Coach Don Dulay, pumasok na.
Good skill.
Barcuma. Hilario hesitated. He's left wide
There you
open.
go.
That's the second 3-point shot of the game para kay Brian Hilario, and 3-pointer number 5 for the Voyagers.
And a couple of them coming from Warren and Brian respectively.
Costello leans in for the shot. Doesn't get the deuce. Tatakbo na naman ang Pasay. Sanko with the drag screen. Barcuma with the rock. Tabi looks inside. No option for Sanko. Barcuma assessing the defense. 10 on the 24. Barcuma, his turn to go for the 3-point shot. That's way off the mark. Rios couldn't get to the offensive rebound. One thing he does best. John Wilson, pumasok na rin. He's 2 points away from being the first player to enter the 2,000 points club here in the MPBL. Can he do it in this possession? That's a travel.
John Wilson just a couple of points away from line 2,000.
And I'm sure he knows it.
He knows it. He wanted that layup shot to go in.
Coach Marlon Martin calling his first time out despite being up by 4 here. 17-13, 2 minutes and 12 remaining. .9% field goal shooting.
I clearly remember on that day when I woke up and opened my social media account and saw this news. I was shocked because to have the Twins with Coach Don Dulay is such a really good pickup for the Rice Vanguards.
Yeah, because one thing that was being said about the Rice Vanguards in previous years, especially last year, was their lack of speed, especially because Coach Don Dulay likes to play that fast game.
Right.
And these two guys, the Marcelino twins, they definitely impact the transition game of the Rice Vanguards.
That is right. And lalo na, you see the efficiencies of guards like Ryan Costello, JC Cullar, and then those guys held the fort while they did have JC. But now that you've got those twins, that's turbo engines you got on your floor.
They are called Twin Turbo. Talking about the Marcelino twins, we'd like to thank LGR, the official outfitter of the MPBL. The Ilonggo Superman is at the line here, Billy Ray Robles.
And let me just say also, Javi, that you have these twins. You've got also Superman twins. Bicolano Superman and, Robles and Bobby Balocanag.
Those is really mutants on this team.
Oo, grabe. Yung pag umelevate, ang lakas nung ramdam mo yung power sa legs, and pag fuminish, kayang i-absorb yung contact.
In loaded teams like this, it's just really a matter of trying to shuffle and get the right combination. But I'm sure Coach Don Dulay trying to figure that out together with his staff. And they too have been one of the teams that have been able to prepare longer compared to the other squads that we have. Kasi ibang teams talaga, late na sila talaga nakapagbuo ng buong team nila.
Yeah, and I'm sure both coaches Don Dulay as well as Coach Marlon Martin, they're not in a hurry. They want to understand, this is just the first game. But you want to start real good, and so to easily identify kung saan pa mga areas improvement and strengths that they can actually exploit on.
John Wilson, 1,998 points, still couldn't get to 2,000. Wilson stuck there against Sanko. That's 0 out of 3 for John Wilson. Matosi Tansico right there to save the day.
I think John Wilson is going to get that on a 3. He'll be +1 on that .2000.
We're deadlocked at 17. Under 50 seconds to go here in the first quarter. Hilario. Side of Stabby for 3.
Good.
Yes, sir. Side of Stabby. Knocks it down.
There's no scarier situation than to have a shooter surrender the ball to the elbow and flare away, because that is a difficult defensive cover.
And also no scarier situation than a shooter that doesn't hesitate, just like
this one.
Tyro Chan.
And this is how I guess the season is going to change. I mean, you've seen Baltasar dominate the paint inside, just give it up to the low block, but now you've got bigs who can actually score from the outside, and we've seen it now, we've seen it earlier in the first game.
And we've said this each season, that each season going into the year will be the most exciting so far. If you take a look at the 3-point field goal story, 6 out of 10 already for Pasay to Nueva Ecia's 3 out of 6. That's really been the case, because you gotta give a lot of credit to the teams, to management, for being able to identify which holes they need to plug in.
So ayan, yung pasa na yan na nakita mo ni Robles all the way to Tyrone Chan, that really is just understanding offensive principles. He didn't actually see that Tyrone was there. He just went in there and spun the other way back, understanding that Tyrone is gonna be on that spot as they practice every so often.
Damien Lasco making his first appearance for the Pasay Voyagers. Also one of the new recruits for Coach Marlon Martin. Brian Hilario, the surprise leading scorer of Pasay here in the opening frame.
Yeah.
It's 9 points now as he takes a breather para kay Don Reverente, who has been the main man for this Pasay Voyagers squad for a while now. 8 seconds to go. Tyron Chan, can he go back to back? No. A little bit too strong. The tap goes to Reverente. 3 seconds. Barcuma back to Don Reverente. Running shot. No. And that's going to do it. First quarter of action has now concluded. Ang bilis na naging palitan ng parehong kupunan dito, and a relatively high-scoring game between these two teams in that first period.
And I'm sure Coach Don Dulay and Coach Marlon Martin are saying, okay, we're done with getting to know you. Now's the time for adjustments in the second quarter onwards.
Zamar Hamito off to a good start in a new uniform. 6 points in the game. Byron Villarias knocking down 2 3-point shots. Brian Hilario was left wide open a number of times, and he was able to capitalize on most of them. Cyrus Tapi also showing good form here for Coach Marlon Martin, knocking down a 3. For us about Pasay.
The whole off-season of Coach Marlon Martin was really about searching for help for Bonnie. He is just glad he did okay. Jopet Soriano, former teammate of Bonnie, Barcuma, Sara Chavez, all-season guards, Mark Sanko. Generally, with these pieces, he will try to keep working and winning against the top caliber teams like Nueva Ecija. He understands that they are that team who will never give up on finding holes that they could take advantage of. At yan ang sagot, Javi Coach Mike, sa Coach M effect. If you were Warren and all of this help was given to you, how could you say no to a clear, pure trust? Javi Coach Mike.
Definitely so. Thank you, Mika, for that report. And we've seen that last year, how this rapport between Coach Marlon Martin and Warren Bonifacio has really helped and impacted the Pasay Voyagers franchise. And that's why it was no question para kay Warren Bonifacio. Coach Marlon did his part, and so Warren returns that favor by joining the team back, and that's 2,000 points now para kay John Wilson finally after 4 attempts.
And one of his favorite moves, a little spin on a middle jumper, and John Wilson's been so good at that move. Congratulations to John for reaching 2,000.
Nueva Ecija now in the driver's seat, 24-22, but that is tied by Damian Lasco on the drive to the left. Costello manning the point guard spot here for Coach Don Dulay.
Stagger here.
Robles waiting for Wilson to be set up. Chan asking for it. Robles down low against Rios. He has the height advantage. Robles spins baseline, reverse no. A little caught up in the net there. The Voyagers in transition. Rios, three-pointer. Off to the left. Rebound goes to the Ilonggo Superman. Robles against 3 defenders. Tancinco lays it up and in, plus the foul. 3-point play opportunity for Tosi Tancinco.
And that's how comfortable Nueva Ecija is. I mean, so long as you've got the defense reeling, it doesn't matter if you're outnumbered or so. If you've got that foot speed and that ability to finish right through contact, go ahead and get it.
Tancinco last year played for Zamboanga. He has been a long-time teammate of the Marcelino Twins. Simula pa lang ng Lyceum sa college. And he didn't really get a lot of playing time last year under Coach Louis Alasas. This free throw brought to you by Extreme Appliances, ang subok at kompletong appliance brand ng Pilipinas. But this year, Coach, he has gotten an early opportunity here, and I'm sure that Coach Don Dulay has communicated to him his role this season for Nueva Ecija. And nakikita mo na nakapag-prepare siya na maayos.
Agree. And yung shooting percentage ni Tansinko is really good. I recall from last season in one of the games that we covered, there was a pregame that we asked, sino kaya ang gagawa dito sa Zamboanga back then? And Key, one of our teammates from production, said, I think it's going to be Tansinko. And true enough, it was Tansinko who made those crucial baskets in that game. I don't recall the results, but clearly Tansinko was the one who delivered the telling blows, as we have in right here. There you go.
Right on cue, talking about that shooting percentage. Tosi Tansinko has been very efficient here in the first half. 9 points in just under 6 minutes of gameplay para kay Tosi Tansinko. Actually, make that 10 points para kay Tosi.
And I tell you, it really is a dangerous proposition to have a shooter give up the ball on the elbow for a possibility of a flare screen. See this one right here again. They didn't take it.
It's now Robles.
Good
And that ball
defense.
stolen away by Reverente. Lasco. Pasay definitely has the advantage. Costello wraps him up.
Yeah, but I think Costello was really just bracing for that fall. He knew he jumped too high, and so he had to hold on to Damien. I don't think there's anything rough between those two, at least from how I know these guys.
Yeah. I saw that when they crashed to the floor, Costello was already apologizing.
Right.
At least from our vantage point. Tingnan natin yung replay, but that's definitely going to be called
Right.
an unsportsmanlike
That's
foul.
right. That's right. But I'm sure no ill intentions. It's just that he had to brace his fall. He was running at full speed against that drive, and so he didn't want to fall backwards, and so he had to hold on.
Sinama niya na lang pababa si
Oh,
David
yeah.
Lasco. If I'm going down, I'm taking you down with me. Here it is again from a different angle. Tama ka nga, Coach.
At saka hindi rin basta binitawan ni Ryan yung ulo eh.
Yeah.
He could have hit the
Yeah.
head on the floor. But
I might say that he also had the safety of Damien in mind.
Right.
Kahit papano.
Oh yes, tama naman. Those are really two good guys. Have a good head on their shoulders that understand that at the end of the day, you guys are basketball players and have families to go to.
7 minutes and 17 remaining here in the second quarter. It's been a great exchange of baskets between these two squads. Fast-paced game, a lot of outside shots being let go by these two teams. And so far, Pasay has had the advantage
It's a
in terms of
disqualifying
threes.
foul on number 4, Ryan Costello.
Oh, that's
for
big.
excessive hard contact.
I knew it was going to be an unsportsmanlike foul, but I didn't really expect it to be a disqualifying foul, which in mga ang ipinatong kay Ryan Costello, he is ejected for this game.
Well, I guess because it was not a play on the ball, it was excessive.
And above the shoulder.
And above the shoulder, yeah. Well, referees gotta call them as they see them, regardless of how they know these players.
The reason may be because hinatak niya pababa.
Yeah. Pero hirap rin kasi nun no? Mababa ka. Kung bumitaw ka, imagine mo, dire-diretso ka na papunta sa A-board and you don't know where your head's gonna fall on.
Yun na nga, that's something that really is gonna be a hazard when you're playing a full contact sport.
Yeah. Ang hassle lang siguro dyan kay Ryan, he traveled all the way here.
Exactly. And first game of the season,
First game
right?
of the season,
You're really excited. You don't expect that this will happen to you. But the circumstances forced him to do that. And he's going to be out for this one, for the remainder of this game. Ang masama pa dun, he's going to be suspended for the next one.
Yeah, that's the thing that hurts actually. I guess from the perspective of Ryan personally. And so JC now comes in lieu of Ryan.
Lasco missing on the first free throw. 1 out of 2 para sa kanya. Voyagers will keep possession. They're down by 5 right now. Lasco inbounds to Soriano. 14 on the shot clock. Hand off to Barcuma. Reverente with the screen. Barcuma loses it. Manaytay, the former UST Growling Tiger, secures possession para sa Nueva Ecija.
Very active hands for a big man defending in the perimeter.
Marcelino against the top defender, Joey Barcuma. Manaytay Between the legs to the left, his strong side. Tough angle on the shot. That ball sailing out of bounds. Reverente able to bounce it off the body of Christian Manaytay.
Pero kita mo yung disiplina ng Nueva Ecija, no? Kahit na bumababa na yung oras, hindi nararatel. They just went through each and every option that comes up.
That's just a testament to the amount of experience that they have. Lasco to Soriano. There's that flare screen action that we've seen. Reverente now waiting for Lasco to get that basketball. Damien shot that short. Ayaay in the game for the first time para kay Coach Don Dulay. Villarreal hit 2 threes in the first half. Pulyar. Bounce pass to Jasper Ayaay, and that's off the glass and in.
That side of the floor is one of the favorite spots of Ayaay. And so once he got that, he's immediately faced up and try to see if he can get a shot up.
Jasper Salenga goes to Joey Barcuma. Working the two-man game with Jopet Soriano, and it looks like Jason Marcelino will be called for a personal.
And when you look at that option, they were trying to do what's called an empty ball screen when you don't have a guy in the corner. And he's supposed to drive downhill, but then and if you don't have that drive downhill, a guy in the middle should flash the free throw area and he gets the ball. The only reason that guy wasn't able to flash is because the defense has been crowding that area, and so there's nowhere to go even you flash up.
Tabi is the designated inbounder. Goes to Salenga. Villarreal's right there with him. Tabi, though, unbothered on that baseline and gets the 2 points. 8 points now para kay Cyrus Tabi. What about Cyrus Tabi, Coach?
Yeah. And I love that he's playing this way. They needed him to be like that last season. Really just fell short.
Manaytay, he loves that area of the floor. Did that a lot in the UAP for the Growling Tigers. Now brings his talents here to the Nueva Ecija Rice Vanguards.
Christian Manaytay could just be the new age Art de la Cruz. I don't know if you'd agree with me, but a lot of similarities there.
Definitely so. As we take a look at the scoring this quarter, 15-5. Napapakamot na ng ulo si Coach Marlon Martin as shots like this have been falling for Nueva Ecija. Manaytay, you mentioned, Coach, new age Art de la Cruz.
Diba? Kasi hindi naman titira yan ng ganun kakomportable kung hindi niya kumpiyansa dun sa range na yun. He's gonna look for the pass first, but you know, he understands that I can shoot it from there.
Salenga could have passed it to Soriano. Got his own miss. Tabi, drop off to Jopet. Soriano gets the 2 points.
And again, if you go back to Christian Manaytay, twice he got attacked. He just put his hand up. No shots were made, but the thing is, really just stayed poised. But he committed a turnover here. But those two were really good defensive stops on the end of Christian.
No, he's gonna learn to be able to fake those handoffs like Art de la Cruz if he wants to be like Art de la Cruz. This assist of the game is brought to you by 1xBet. The delivery from Cyrus Tabi to Jopet Soriano. Salenga now. Don Reverente, who's sporting a new hairstyle, by the way. Di ko nga siya nakilala kanina.
A cleaner version?
Yeah, definitely.
Just like Ton?
Tabi forces a pass to Jopet Soriano, who was fouled by Christian Manaytay. I thought that they forced the issue on that pass.
Yeah, could be too.
Lucky call para sa kanila. Manaytay picks up his second. Camito will come back in for Christian Manaytay. 35-29. More than halfway gone by here in the second quarter. Lawrence Victoria. Hand in the face. Still no go. Victoria has yet to make an impact for Pasay in this game. So scoreless. Reverente commits the offensive foul.
And it's the guard, the defensive rotation of the guards of Nueva Ecija that's actually preventing him from being comfortable, I guess, attacking the defense.
Reverente also with his second. Pulyar needs a teammate. Ayaay flashes and receives. 9-6 in terms of turnovers, a +3 for the Voyagers in that department, and that's not good.
Yeah.
Ayay. Waiting for the play to develop here para sa Nueva Ecija. Marcelino gets the handoff. Marcelino to the cup. Marcelino is fouled by Jopet Soriano.
Well, I'm sure Coach Don Dulay, up to that point of attack by Marcelino, is not happy. That defense was, that offense rather, was stalling it. I mean, guys were second guessing who was gonna move and who was gonna be the least guarded guy.
And the thing is, Coach, in moments like that, in plays like that, rather in sequences like that, it has to be fluid. Hindi talaga dapat tumitigil.
Yes.
Robbie Celis, one of the holdovers of Nueva Ecija from last year, will not suit up for this game. But already looking like a dangerous squad, even without their big man, Robbie Celis. And there you see Gary David, now part of the management team of the Bataan Risers, who will be seeing action against the hosts, the Pangasinan Heatwaves, right after this game between Nueva Ecija and Pasay.
And the depth of the rotation of Coach Don Dulay, wala pa si Rob Celis nga pala dito sa floor, ano? My goodness.
Behind the back, Victoria Tatabi, already halfway down para kay Cyrus Tabi, but AJ Coronel right there to clean up the mess.
And Pasay is really hanging in there all because of effort. And they're struggling a little bit shooting after, shooting really good at the start of the game. Pero yung effort talaga, yun ang nagpapadikit sa kanila dito eh.
JC Marcelino somehow, some way, makes his way to the cup and finishes the 2 points. That's his first field goal of the game.
Saan ka naman nakakita ng kaliwete galing sa kaliwa, puminis ng kanan, tapos pinihit pa ng kaliwa. Ang hirap nun.
He has done some magical things that we cannot explain.
Contorted na pero solid pa rin eh.
Coronel from the corner, that three no good. And Hamito was bumped there by Coronel, an unnecessary foul, I might say, against AJ. Check out this play of the game brought to you by 1xBet. Ito yung sinasabi ni Coach Mike. JC Marcelino driving from the left. A little 1-2 step there to split the defense. And then finishing as well with that left hand on the right side.
A lot of teams scouted JC from last year na going left. He tried to, prevent him from getting a strong downhill move. But right now, he's just proving that, okay, saran yan, dito tayo sa kabila dadaan.
Jammer Hamito at the line once again. 7 out of 10 ang Nueva Ecija as a team from the free throw line. Make that 8 out of 11 now as Hamito scores his 8th point of the game. 39-31, 2 minutes and 39 remaining. A VIP row here inside the Mayor Robert B. Estrella Senior Memorial Stadium, of course led by our beloved Commissioner Kenneth Duremdes, Operations Head Emerson Oreta, and Security Chief Destroyer Rudy Distrito. The Cuevases at courtside looking on as the Rice Vanguards lead the Pasay Voyagers 39-31 here with 2 minutes and 35 remaining in the first half. Cyrus Tabi finds a way to get it to Jopet Rosales. Jopet Soriano, rather, scoring the 2 points.
Well, good seal right there on that little high-low action. Got the defender on the back and just really able to finish.
Tancinco from the outside. Tosi Tancinco has been a picture of efficiency para sa Nueva Ecija. 13 points in the game para kay Tosi Tancinco.
And Tosi continues not to fail the impression of Key. He's shooting really good from the outside.
Soriano able to get the step. Coronel finishing on the reverse.
Laking advantage rin talaga kung big man ka na kahit walang dribble, may footwork ka sa loob. No?
Coronel definitely one of those guys. Marcelino
Tossi's gonna slip this.
spins,
Oh, man.
gives it up. Hamito. That could have been a highlight.
My goodness.
Did anybody ever expect that JC Marcelino would make that spin?
Yeah.
My goodness.
Right. Imagine this. 5 on the floor with Jammer, JC, Will Macaloni. All lefties. All able to score. All very high
Yeah,
IQ.
glad that you mentioned it. Oh, Will Macaloni also not yet suited
See?
up for this Nueva Ecija squad. And yet, this is already how they are faring here
Yeah.
against a pretty good team in the Northern Division, the Pasay Voyagers. They have been a little bit more comfortable than their opponents in this game. On cruise control,
Yeah.
might I say.
Yeah.
In a good way, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
There's a review by our officials, referee Jojo Belna, signaling, okay, pwede na ibigay ang bola. At teka lang, i-communicate niya muna sa ating table officials. A 7-point lead so far, coach. And I'm saying cruise control because they look so comfortable
Yeah.
with the way they're running things. Their defense has been on point, just a little bit of miscues. But hindi mo nakikita na nagpapanik sila or you know they're reacting really badly. They're just kumbaga in the middle, not very high, not very low.
That's right. And there was a run by Pasay kanina, di ba? And they just, okay, that's fine. We got more possessions and we got a lot of confidence in our field goal percentage. And mind you, from last season, itong Nueva Ecija is actually shooting 45% from the field, 32% from 3, and 70% from the free throw line. Tonight, they're 53% from the field, 54% from 3, and 72% from the free throw. I mean, how do you beat a team like that that's so efficient that, you know, it's tough to go up against them?
You mentioned the confidence in their field goal shooting, but also, coach, I'd like to add to that the confidence in their roster.
Oh, yes.
They know that every guy off that bench will be capable, from the first guy to the last man. And that's a big shot para sa Pasay. Lawrence Victoria hitting his first shot of the game. They need to get him going.
Yeah, because offensively, he's the first man para dito sa Pasay.
Tabi has Tancinco to beat Tabi, trying to change hands to the left. That's a tough angle to work with if you're on the right side. JV Marcelino couldn't get the three-point shot. JC, his twin brother, the former MVP, forcing it up. That ball is loose. Victoria has it. Under a minute to play here in the second. That's definitely a foul against JC. And referee Maynard Centeno definitely saying, yes, it is a defensive foul laban sa kanya. Let's take a look at that last play. Siya kasi ang sumundot.
He tried to reach, But a lot of players do that right now. They use the inside shoulder to reach that strong hand with the ball.
Sideline throw in to Warren Bonifacio, who's back in the game. Tabi, who has been Mr. Quality Minutes for Coach Marlon Martin here. Trying to lose JV Marcelino. He does, but was fouled before the pass. That's another personal against Nueva Ecija, who is already in the penalty.
Yeah, that's easier said than done, to be beating any one of those twins on a downhill. One of the best ways is to keep doing successive game moves with that ball before you attack downhill. If you're just going to get that ball and attack going down, they're going to catch up with you.
Now look at the disparity in free throw attempts here for both of these teams. Nueva Ecija already with 11 free throw attempts, while Pasay just with attempts 5 and 6 here on these free throws by Cyrus Tabi.
And like what I said, Pasay has really been in there because of effort. Their second chance points, they're +5 against the lone 2 points of Nueva Ecija in that department. Well, only because they've been efficient on the field, they didn't need that second chance.
Tancinco, can he get another three?
Man.
Dossi Tancinco, he has been sizzling hot tonight.
Talk about finding a home in the Rice Vanguards team.
16 points in the game for the former LPU Pirate. Boy, Dossi Tancinco is definitely putting on a show tonight. And I'm sure Coach Don Dulay has been noticing.
And I'm sure not just in this game, even in practice, that confident that he's gonna knock those down. Clearly on that head of Coach Don Dulay.
And he definitely looks to be in better shape, Coach.
Right.
Cuellar priming his team up for possibly the last possession of the quarter. Cuellar goes all the way and takes it by himself. 5 seconds to go. Victoria sees Bonifacio. Transition 3 on the way. That's a bucket para kay Warren Bonifacio. An exchange of baskets between these two teams. A couple from the outside and one in the interior. Ending in that 3-point shot by Warren Bonifacio. What a period, but what a first half para kay Tosi Tancinco, Coach.
6 out of 6 from the field, 3 out of 3 from the three-point region. It's a perfect game so far for Tosi.
16 points para sa former Zamboanga player na si Tosi Tancinco. Big reason why Nueva Ecija is still up by 6 points, 49-43 as we enter halftime.
Lagi mong sinisiguradong patas. Lagi mong inuuna kung anong dapat. Hindi mo kayang malunok ang katotohanang marami pa rin tayong kababayang gutom at walang tahanan. Kaya hindi ka tumigil sa paglaban. Harapin ang kahirapan. Tulungan ang nangangailangan. Basagin ang korupsyon na kanilang nakasanayan. Sa loob at labas, man ng Pinas, bakas na bakas ang iyong tapang puksain ang mga problema ng bansa. Gamit ang lakas, gamit ang isip, gamit ang puso. Kung para sa mamamayang Pilipino, si MP, wala yang sinisino. Manny Pacquiao.
Halftime now between the Nueva Ecija and Rice Vanguards and the Pasay Voyagers. The squad of Coach Don Dulay up by 6, 49-43. And it's been an impressive exchange of baskets between these two squads, but the Rice Vanguards have really been able to be on point on a lot of possessions in this first half.
Well, one of the reasons why we're showing all the shooting percentage is just to marvel at how really efficient the shooting has been for Nueva Ecija. Samantalang itong Pasay, that's an okay 41%. Matter of fact, all of them have shot above 40% individually as players, except for Lawrence Victoria, who's gone 1 out of 4 from the field. But other than that, everyone's been shooting, making almost half of the shots that they make. And the thing is, the turnovers that they've forced on Pasay, they've been able to collect 14 points, speaking of Nueva Ecija. And you cannot afford not to be efficient against a really good Nueva Ecija Rice Vanguards team.
They definitely have to minimize their turnovers come the third and fourth quarters. They can't be throwing that ball away against a team as good as Nueva Ecija. Tosi Tancinco, he has been perfect tonight. 16 points to lead all scorers. Hamito has 9, Villarias with 6. Christian Manaytay, one of their new recruits, has 4 points in his debut here for the Rice Vanguards. On the other side, Cyrus Tabi, the only guy in double figures with 10. Hilario has 8. Coronel and Bonifacio with 6 apiece.
And I guess it's just refreshing from the perspective of Coach Don Dulay to see other names leading the scoring other than Will Macaloni, Rob Celis. Well, the things they're not there, but to have him consistently be performing at least in the first half, it really is something is a welcome improvement for the team of the Nueva Ecija Rice Vanguards.
Sara, Victoria, Bonifacio, Hilario, and Coronel starting once again here for Coach M in the second half. Hilario couldn't knock down that gimme underneath.
Gulat siya, ang lalim niya eh. Pero ang ganda ng pasa.
Villarias, Hamito, Manaytay, JC and JV Marcelino starting anew as well. Para kay Coach Don Dulay. Manaytay, hand in the face, that's off to the left. Hilario with the board. Sara couldn't get the step on Marcelino.
Oh, man.
That pass too strong para kay Warren Bonifacio.
Pero kita mo yung depensa ni Christian Manaytay. I understand that the post-up is one pass away. He immediately rotates and tries to front against a Warren Bonifacio post-up.
He understands the angles defensively to si Christian Manaytay. JC goes to his strong side. Tried to drop it off to Manaytay. Coronel got in the middle of that passing lane. Sara forward to Victoria. Nice fake. Goes to Mark Sanko. And Sanko will knock it down.
Good vision right there by Lawrence Victoria. He had a closeout. He attacked it. He got a secondary defender to stop him. Survey the other side.
Coach Marlon Martin made a quick substitution after a couple of errors by Brian Hilario, inserting Mark Sanko, who hit that three-point shot. But the answer for Nueva Ecija is Jammer Hamito, hitting his 11th point of the game.
And these numerous lefties on the roster of Coach Don Dulay has allowed him to execute and exploit that left side of the floor, which we know is a strength of any lefty.
Well, it's no surprise that he got this many lefties because, after all, he too is a lefty.
Yeah. If you would have coached, you would have gotten more lefties too, right?
Maybe, maybe not. This three-point shot brought to you by Extreme One-Stop Shop Appliances. Mark Sanko, former CSB Blazer, now taking his talents to the professional level for the Pasay Voyagers. Hamito offers the screen for JC Marcelino. Coronel on him. Bonifacio shows Manaytay, launches the three. That one's short. Look at JB Marcelino getting another possession for Nueva Ecija and leaving it for Byron Villarias, who scores 2.
If that's not going after the ball on a second effort, I don't know what is.
53-46. More than 2 minutes gone by here in the third quarter, and already so much action happening.
Tsaka markado talaga yung post-up ni Warren Bonifacio sa ilalim. That's the second time we've seen a white shirt actually anticipate every time Warren is one pass away and he's on the post.
Byron Villarias will take a breather just after scoring a basket. Billy Ray Robles will come in. Victoria threading a quarter of that baseline, leaving it for Warren Bonifacio. But look at Manaytay going up high for that board. Hamito running that middle, getting the pass, and getting that shot to drop.
And Jammer Amito, even with a lot of new guys here, younger guys, I guess, still shows everyone that he can finish that way.
He has been fitting seamlessly into this offense of Coach Don Dulay. There is no sign that he is having a hard time adjusting to this new system as AJ Coronel gets the basket inside.
And a lot of that, I guess, has to do with Jammer being a really good listener to what Coach Don Dulay has been saying. We've seen a lot of times in timeouts where Coach Don Dulay would actually be speaking to the ear of Jammer Hamito, giving him instructions and reminders.
It's just really so hard to make those long passes when you have guys like JV Marcelino working the passing lanes. But Pasay finally completes a steal. Lansara blocked by JC Marcelino.
Now that, Javi, is why you get the Twins. I mean, two guys on turbo boost, helping out defensively in a situation when they're almost outnumbered.
We've got to see that again. I've got to see that again. Chase down block by JC Marcelino. Right here now on your screens, you thought that it was an easy basket. Dan Sara maybe taking off a little bit too early, which enabled JC Marcelino to go up high and block that shot. And Pasay gets it back. Bonifacio couldn't hit from the perimeter. They're still down by 7 points here. Nueva Ecija could extend this lead to 9. Manaytay gets it to Robles. Billy Ray to Jammer Hamito. He has that off the front iron. Manaytay trying to get the same, but that's too far for him to catch. What's the call? It is Pasay basketball.
One thing about this game, you love the effort of both teams, ano? Pero walang sakitan, walang ano, talagang ano lang eh. Honest, feisty, go for the ball action.
Pure basketball at its finest between these two teams. Maybe save for that unsportsmanlike foul that got Ryan Costello ejected in the first half. If you just tuned in, he committed an unsportsmanlike foul against Damon Lasco that threw him out of the game. Sara will be caught for a foul here.
And you can see the culture of a team. Right there. As JC was down on the floor. He was down for so long. Players tell him, teammates tell him, stay down, we'll pick you up. And only got up when he got picked up.
I think Dan has a little bleeding sa kanyang nose area. And that's why he had to be subbed out as well. Cyrus Tabi comes back in. Offensive foul against Christian Manaytay.
You know, one guy I'd love to see from Pasay to go up against the Twins, Barkuma.
Yeah, former teammates.
Right?
When those three were on the floor last year, ang hirap makatawid ng bola.
Remember that game when they were on the same team and they went up against Mark Nono?
Oh my God. It was so hard to turn my neck. Bonifacio works his way past the contact. That's a foul. Hook shot is good para kay Warren Bonifacio.
And Pasay's been, you know, really having to exert more effort scoring inside. And it's because of the defense that's making it difficult for them to execute fluidly. There are times na ang ganda ng execution nila, libre, pero napapa-second guess sila kaya hindi pumapasok yung mga tira.
Oh, the foul was an offensive foul, so there was no bonus free throw given to Warren Bonifacio, but the basket will count. Here he gets the steal. Bonifacio will not force it against Robles, but that's a steal once again for JV Marcelino. Marcelino quickly to Billy Ray Robles. One fake, couple of dribbles, hangs in the air and finishes.
Everybody just went quickly downhill.
It's just amazing how explosive these guys are.
Yeah.
Tabi to Bonifacio at the mid-post. Face-up jumper That's a bucket para kay Warren Bonifacio.
Napaka-importante no, na pagkatapos mabasket yun ni Warren Bonifacio, nakangiti pa siya. It shows that he's got that confidence na, we're sticking around and we can still come back from this.
10 points now in the game for the former Mapua Cardinal. Warren Bonifacio is sharing scoring honors with Cyrus Tabi for the Pasay Voyagers. Hamito,
There you go.
Cinco, quick to Robles. That one's short.
Good ball movement except for the made shot.
Tabi at the controls here for Pasay. That's a skip pass to Victoria. The fake, the pass to AJ Coronel, and Coronel goes up hard, was hit hard as well. He will go to the line for a couple of charities. This is the play of the game brought to you by 1xBet. The fake and then the finish for Billy Ray Robles.
Hindi na-rattle din talaga eh. Basang-basa yung depensa.
Whenever you give him that space para bumuelo, ang hirap na pigilan si Billy Ray Robles dahil ang tagal ng hang time eh. Pababa ka na, nasa taas pa rin siya.
And this is just a 4-point game.
That's correct. As you take a look at Mactalio, Shaq Taganas, and over to Mactalio's right, that was Mike Wico. The Pangasinan Heatwaves, our hosts for tonight, will be going up against the Bataan Risers right after this matchup between Nueva Ecija and Pasay.
And while we talk about the roster of Nueva Ecija, how about that team of Pangasinan?
Retooled lineup, put in a lot more firepower this year. Of course, we'll be talking about that later on during that game. I'd like to greet everybody who's watching us on our Facebook and YouTube channels, as well as on Solar Sports, on Digital Free TV Channel 21 in Mega Manila, Sky Cable Channel 70, and Cable Link Channel 58. We are live from the Robert B. Estrella Senior Memorial Stadium in Rosales, Pangasinan.
And JC Collier called for that foul.
Fouls piling on here for Nueva Ecija. There's going to be a warning laban sa kanya. Nueva Ecija already with 14 fouls. Next one will put them over the limit, which means free throws para sa Pasay. So maybe it would make sense for the Voyagers to try and get something going inside. Tabi does so, but delivering that pass to Mark Sanko, it was picked up by the Rice Vanguard's defense. Marcelino just so good at drawing contact, especially on the move in transition.
Yeah. Well, clearly three stats stand out right now. That's why Nueva Ecija is in the advantage. We talked about it earlier, the field goal shooting percentage. However, when you talk about turnovers and points of turnovers, that's clearly advantage over to Nueva Ecija. And so we talked about this. If you're Pasay, you can't afford to turn the ball over because every time that you do, there is high probability they're going to run you the other way. And so you got to be quick with your defensive transition.
And can you believe this, Coach? Only 4 points so far in the game for JC Marcelino. He does have 3 assists.
Sa lalim nung and if you have see, being that efficient, why not?
But you know, you've seen him already here in the playing time that he's had. It feels like he's already contributed so much because of the energy that he's displayed, especially on the defensive end.
At saka walang frustration. You have to remember that JC had the ball in his hands a lot of times in Zamboanga. But now, it almost feels like he's a facilitator, you know? And he's not complaining about not getting enough shots.
And he seems to be just in such a breeze right now. He's so comfortable playing in his new uniform. Sanko will come out. Don Reverente back in. Reverente has not had much playing time here for Coach Marlon Martin like we're used to. Arcelino, that's JC. Tried to get it to his buddy, Tosi Tansico. That stolen Barkuma now. That's quite a dangerous fall. He falls on his hind. That's his back end. That might be an unsportsmanlike foul too. Our referees will be reviewing this. Our crew chief, Jojo Belnas. Umpire 1 is Michael Kinay, as well as Manuel Binondo, the umpire 2. Barkuma gets up on both feet. That's a very dangerous fall,
Yeah.
especially when you fall on your back.
And the thing is, every time he's in this situation, you know, because he's small, airborne, medyo wala ka talagang control pag nasa taas ka na eh. Ilang mabibilis na players yun.
There definitely was no intention to hit. Hindi lang na-control ni
Hindi,
JC Colliar. That was a block by JC Marcelino upstairs. But Colliar was there and nagkabuhol ng konti yung legs niya, which prevented Joey Barkuma
Yeah.
from landing safely.
He hit him by momentum. He was actually not overextending his arms. He was trying to stay within his cylinder. And just unfortunate na hindi siya nakahinto agad by the time na nasa ere na si Barkuma.
Well, this could be a good opportunity for Pasay to maybe tie things up
Yes.
or get into one. It actually could have been a tie ball game. If Joey Barkuma was able to hit that second free throw, they could have gone for the tie on this possession. But let's see, they still could do so with a three-point shot. Lasco inbounds to Warren Bonifacio against Tyrone Chan. Bonifacio, mano-a-mano against Tyrone Chan. That's going to be free throws para kay Warren Bonifacio to the dismay of Coach Don Dulay.
Actually, sa post-up, parang may advantage ng konti offensively itong si Warren Bonifacio than Tyrone Chan. You really love to see Tyrone Chan go for perimeter jumpers and those, slip screens from three. Pero post-up, parang mas equipped si Warren. Not to have a knock on the post-up game of Tyrone. It's just how the matchup is.
11 points in the game para kay Warren Bonifacio. That's now a dozen for the former NCAA stalwart. 58-57. Pressure being applied here by Pasay. Colliar gets it across the timeline safely. Ball screen set by Tyrone Chan on Billy Ray Robles' man. That's a turnover against Nueva Ecija, and the errors now starting to pile up for the Rice Vanguards, Coach
Yeah.
Mike.
And who hasn't missed yet from the field? Tosi Tancinco. Guess who's guarding him? Don Reverente. No surprises there.
He hasn't gotten to hold the basketball a lot
Right.
here in the third quarter, talking about Tosi Tancinco.
Right.
Bonifacio, one-legged jumper is no good. That's off the mark badly. Colliar gets past Tabby. Chan takes the shot. Goes to John Wilson. Wide open. Can't leave the former MVP like that.
If he's got that 1-2 feet set and that much space, the most high probability he's gonna knock it down.
Cyrus Tabby looking for a teammate. Rios, one of the new recruits for Coach Marlon this season. Gives it back to Cyrus. Tabby could not hit on the jumper. Easy rebound para kay Billy Ray Robles. Under 2 minutes to go here in the third quarter. Colliar
Grabe.
to the relocating John Wilson.
Grabe naman yung proposition niya. Tyrone Chan, Romoro, tas nasa kabila mo si John Wilson.
You just gotta be able to pick your poison,
Right.
I must say.
Right.
Reverente right there, getting his team to within 2 points. That's his first basket of the game.
And slowly but surely, Pasay, keeping themselves within striking distance here.
Colliar gets past his defender, finishes at the cup, and gets fouled. One more at the line coming up para kay JC Colliar.
And that's a good read on that empty side action. Going left side of the floor against Cyrus Tabby.
Having no man at the corner really brings the ball handler a lot more options, especially with rejecting the screen, just like what JC Colliar did. Colliar, though, could not capitalize on that free throw. 63-59. Reverente trying to locate Damon Lasco, cutting through the middle. Barkuma
Nice
back to Don.
pass.
Reverente will score.
Multiple ball and man movement, ending up with a good assist for Don.
Tancinco, he remains perfect. 18 points in the game para kay Tosi Tancinco. I think that's the only time he's been able to hold the ball, at least in the last 2 minutes.
Agree. It's been tough for him.
Hilario, he's been silent ever since that outburst in the first quarter. Hilario gets it against Tyro Chan.
Yeah. And similar to Tyrone, he's a perimeter guy that's very comfortable shooting from there.
Wilson against Damon Lasco. That's excellent defense by Damon. Unfortunately, he could not handle that basketball, and that's going to be a turnover. Laban sa Pasay. That's been their problem in this game, turnovers. They've been able to minimize it here in the second half, though.
Right. Pero still, they're giving up 7 more points of turnovers to Nueva Ecija, and so you can't afford to just be committing mistakes.
Colliar drops it off. Robles gets the roll on the shot.
Gaano na mga lakas yung katawan nun. Binunggo mo na't lahat eh.
A chance to write the final sentence of this third chapter for Pasay. 10 seconds to go. Barcuma settles for the three-point shot. That's short. And 5. Looks forward. Robles, no. That's stolen
He's
by
got time.
Reverente. Rios, can he knock it down? He will miss. And that's going to do it for our first 3 quarters of play.
Even on the last possession, Pasay giving themselves a chance to
Jammer Hamito last year for South Cotabato averaged 8.8 points per game on a very high 49.1% clip, 7.2 rebounds, and 1 assist per contest.
Yeah, crucial na part yan dun sa rotation na yun ng Warriors from last season, and so far he's been comfortably adjusting to this new role being under Nueva Ecija.
13 points tonight in his debut for his new squad. Let's go to Mika Abisamis for a report.
I talked to Jam Hamito. Sabi ko, kumusta ka? Sabi niya, grabe itong team na to. Ang ganda ng kultura. Todo trabaho talaga lahat. He said, sa practice pa lang, gulat ako, bumubulusok galing sa taas tapos drive niya pababa si Will. Ang galing. Kaya hirap din daw siyang bantayan ito sa practice. But see, for sure, Will has also great things to say about Jam. Imagine having both of them in your bench. Have you, Coach Mike?
Hindi pa nga naglalaro si Will dito. This team already looking very dangerous. You could imagine how deep this squad will be when Celis and Macaloni come back into the rotation. Problema na talaga yan ng coaching staff tsaka ng management on how they will shuffle these players in and out of their lineup.
Right. And pag pinagsabay mo yung dalawang yun, mabigat talaga.
Quarter scoring so far here. Pasay with a slight edge in that third quarter, coach, but that's not after Nueva Ecija was able to establish 2 good quarters.
Yeah, I guess the important thing is for Pasay to continue to hang in there and not get rattled, and just to continue, per possession effort. Oh, wow.
MJ Ayay, he doesn't really need a lot of space and a lot of time, but there he was given a lot of room for that 3-point shot. 5 points in the game para kay MJ Ayay. Kenneth Mocon is also in the game for the first time para sa Nueva Ecija.
Yeah. And now this is a defensive guard duo here for Nueva Ecija. JC Colliar alongside Mocon. And you can argue maybe Billy Robles as well being in there. They wanna impose a lot of defensive challenges para dito sa Pasay.
Lasco knocking down his first free throw. 70-64. This free throw brought to you by Extreme Appliances, ang subok at kompletong appliance brand ng Pilipinas. That's 2 out of 2 for Damien Lasco. 5 points in the game for the former Zamboanga player.
Tsaka napaka-importante na may mga ganito kang players katulad ni JC at saka ni Mocon available for your rotation because ang daming teams ngayon nagpapalakas offensively. I feel the team that has really good defensive philosophies and execution should give those other teams a lot of headache.
Robles waiting for Mocon to come up. Kenneth to the corner, Tyrone Chan. Very rare that you see Tyrone Chan immediately go to the drive.
Yeah.
And that's why it's a turnover right there for the Rice Vanguards.
Yeah, na walang clear shot attempt, na shot fake. Parang ball pick lang yung ginawa niya doon eh.
Amito will come back in. Tyrone Chan so far only with 3 points in this game. He's actually a homegrown of Nueva Ecija, coach.
Oh, yeah? Si Tyrone?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Joey Barcuma swings it to the left side. Quick ball screen offered by Jopet Soriano. Back to Joey Barcuma. Barcuma has struggled greatly from the outside in this game. Not really a strong suit of his.
Right. Not really known for being a three-point shooting guy. But at the very least, to rise up in situations when he's got that free look. And so he's got to work on repetitions and in order to improve on efficiencies.
Especially when you have guys like Lawrence Victoria
Yes.
in your lineup, as well as Dan Sara, you got to be able to catch and shoot and knock it down. Reverente, met by the defense of Christian Manaytay, tried to scoop in a shot. That's a difficult angle para kay Don Reverente. A double black eye for him because he also commits his third personal foul.
So minsan yan rin ang nagpapahirap. We talked about defense being a premium on some of the teams. That's why I like how Coach Louis Gonzalez has actually said in one of our clips na talagang ang emphasis nila nasa depensa and it's important to have that conditioning and that athleticism, that effort and that commitment to finish each and every defensive stance. And I feel when you saw the game of Ilagan, that's what they're really trying to convey. And so as the games go along, they will be better defensively, and that's a scary proposition for the opponents.
I think that's been the trend for a lot of the teams coming into this season. They know that if they want to go and have a successful season and maybe go deeper into the playoffs, defense is definitely what they should work on. And so you see a lot of the teams really picking up a lot of talent, not just offensively, but on the defensive side as well.
Yeah. And Coach Don Dula is one of those guys that actually, evangelizes that defense is a clear contributor to the game.
We'd like to thank LGR, the official outfitter of the MPBL. Barcuma, emergency pass to Warren Bonifacio. Trying to power his way past Jammer Hamito. No, AJ Coronel gets the offensive rebound. One more possession here for Pasay. They're down by 5. Victoria couldn't lose Hamito. Bounce pass, Coronel. Felt the contact and was bothered by it. Couldn't get that shot to drop. May foul na may tatawag laban kay MJ Ayaay.
Pero ibang klase yung effort dito ng Pasay. Really going after every missed shot.
Tabi inbounds to Victoria. Mocon giving him a hard time defensively. And that's going to be a foul against Kenneth Mocon, which will mean free throws now. Rice Vanguards in the penalty with still 7 minutes and 37 to go in this game.
And that's one factor of the game na medyo maganda ang epekto para dito sa Pasay. I didn't want to jinx you, but it's the free throw shooting. They're shooting actually 85% prior to that missed attempt by Lawrence Victoria.
There was a time in the first half wherein the free throw disparity favored Nueva Ecija, but then in that third quarter, Pasay getting a lot of free throw attempts and capitalizing on it. Kulyar, three-pointer, that's no good. Ayaay saves it to the wrong man. Coronel now moving forward here for Pasay. Lawrence Victoria drives past Mocon, loses the basketball. That was tapped out of bounds by Nueva Ecija.
And it's tough to get past Mocon defending against you. And Lawrence hasn't really gotten into a good rhythm. And so you find him more dishing to teammates than actually scoring.
Twin Turbo coming back in for Nueva Ecija.
Nice
That's
pass.
JC and JV Marcelino. Warren Bonifacio could not hit. That ball, I believe, was last touched by AJ Coronel.
Isa sa mga bagay na bihira para dito sa Nueva Ecija. Bihira ka makikita na makakuha sila ng malinis na defensive rebound kasi doon pumapalag itong Pasay sa offensive rebounds. They're actually outgunning them from that spot, 11 versus 5 or 4, I think. And so the second efforts of Pasay is really keeping them in this game.
Marcelino sees Manaytay momentarily open. He decides to put the ball on the deck. Chopet Soriano really pressuring him. Manaytay leads to the left, hangs and no good on the shot. Could have been a big one para sa kanya.
Ibang klase yung galaw na yun.
Now the Voyagers with possession.
Oh,
Bonifacio was hit.
Yeah. Warren is hit.
Tabi steps back, passes to Coronel. He has the height advantage here against JV Marcelino, but look at the help defense of the Rice Vanguards forcing a stop.
Yep. And they've been testing that interior defense, especially on the post-up. And so far, all the help that they're getting on the weak side is doing well for Nueva Ecija.
Boy, Jammer Hamito. Fall away jumper with one leg. He could not hit that shot though. Ooh. Jammer Hamito decking Warren Bonifacio.
That's the second successive contact that Warren has gotten into with Jammer. I didn't see the second one. The first one I saw.
Well, I'm happy to see that Warren Bonifacio, his arm didn't really affect him. We saw him holding on to it on the previous possession, but look at that. That's quite a hard hit.
Oh, yeah. Because those are quite big shoulders from Jammer Hamito. So
Definitely an unsportsmanlike foul. Yan naman ang tinawag sa kanya ng ating mga referees. Jammer Hamito picking up his third personal foul.
that's the third unspo we've seen in this game, right?
Well, one was on Ryan Costello, which got him the ejection. And the other one, yes, was from JC
From
Collier.
JC, yeah.
So all from the Nueva Ecija side.
Right.
Bonifacio makes the first free throw. Coach Marlon Martin on that sideline contemplating on how to get his team in the lead here. Bonifacio missing on the second free throw. Now the Voyagers are having some problems from that charity stripe. With 6 minutes remaining in this game and the Voyagers down by 4, Coach Marlon Martin will huddle his team up in this time. Back inside the Robert B. Estrella Senior Memorial Stadium in Rosales, Pangasinan. Tingnan natin ang ating fan of the game brought to you by LGR, the official outfitter of the MPBL. A pretty face inside the venue for our Monday triple header dito sa MPBL. We're currently witnessing Pasay versus Nueva Ecija. Earlier, we saw the Imus Brotherhood making a spirited comeback to get a win over the Mindoro Tamaraos in our first game. This is our second one, and our last matchup will be between the hosts, the Pangasinan Heatwaves, and the retooled Bataan Risers. Off the timeout, Sanko short on the 3, but Tabi able to get a hand on that ball. He was being held by JC Marcelino. That's going to be 2 more free throws para dito sa Pasay.
And all these fouls has actually slowed down the game.
After a very quick exchange between these two teams in the first half, a lot of transition plays, open three-point shots in transition, and finishes at the rim. This fourth quarter has been a very different story. And we expected this, Coach.
Yes. And in a game this close and this slow, it is going to boil down to execution. If this just continues to be a one-possession, two-possession game.
Now it is a one-possession game, 70-68 after those free throws by Cyrus Tabi. Davey Marcelino now at the point guard spot, initiating the offense here for the Rice Vanguards. Manaytay hands it off to JC. Marcelino turns the corner to his favorite side. Can't even hit the rim on that lay-in. Crucial stop and now a crucial offensive possession para sa Pasay.
Yeah, I was going to say that was a good idea to try and crowd that side of the floor. Oops, flare again.
Tabi open for three. Manaytay was late on the closeout, but Marcelino will let that sail out of bounds. That flare screen action, Coach, on the top has been very pertinent today.
Oh, yeah. A lot of teams are doing that now, especially if you have shooters right there on the top.
Another timeout, this time for Nueva Ecija. 5 minutes and 15 to go in this game.
successful. There's no foul.
Successful challenge para kay Coach Marlon Martin. Walang foul na may tatawag laban sa Voyagers. And so they will get possession here as the possession arrow points to their side. So good call by Coach Marlon Martin to be able to challenge that last call by our referees. This was the sequence. The ball on the loose, the scramble, and then there you see a foul called against Pasay. Wala nga naman talagang contact na nangyari.
Correct. And this is a chance for them to get equalized or get the driver's seat here.
Look at that field goal story in this quarter. 1 out of 7 for Nueva Ecija. Pasay 0 out of 8.
Oh, man. Another missed opportunity there. Empty possession again. And they've truly checked on Lawrence Victoria.
And that field goal percentage for both of these squads just underscores how difficult it has been para sa parehong koponan to get baskets. It's more than 5 minutes passed already here in the fourth quarter.
And we've been talking all game long about the efficient shooting, especially for Nueva Ecija. But right now, struggle is real.
Dangerous pass by Tabi. He gets it back. Almost lost it again. But look at JC Marcelino getting in front of Cyrus Tabi, only to hit him as soon as he got that steal. So that's gonna go against JC Marcelino. At patagal ng penalty dito ang Nueva Ecija Rice Vanguards. Take a look at what happened. Tabi has lost the ball numerous times in that possession. Very lucky, I must say, to get this opportunity to get 2 free throws.
And the many times again, we've seen that. The strong hand is the one that the inside hand rather, is the one they try and reach for that ball.
Pasay has been living on the free throw line here in the fourth quarter. You saw already the field goal story just a moment ago. 0 out of 8 from the free throw line. Now they're 6 out of 9 from the charity stripe. While Nueva Ecija has not attempted from the 15-foot parallel in this fourth quarter. And there you see the crowd favorite of the Pasay Voyagers, Elvin Chan. Not suited up for this game, but of course still part of the Voyagers roster for this year.
Definitely one of the darlings of the Voyagers. Numerous seasons already.
We're all tied up at 70 apiece. Nueva Ecija now with Jammer Hamito inside. Hamito in trouble, gets it to JV. Out to Tansico, he's already missed his first shot of the game, that's his second. Bounces off the front of the rim, ball loose, tapped out of bounds by Pasay.
And Toshi was frustrated with himself because he knew he had a good look. No hand up and right in front of him. Everybody's down in the lane and just couldn't knock it down.
It's really so hard, coach, to be able to continue a perfect streak.
Oh, yeah.
It gets into your head.
Parang hindi ako perfecto. But I'm perfect from the field. But that's tough because lalo na the defense is going to be aware that this guy hasn't missed. And so we have to get a body check on him and challenge every shot that he throws up.
Well, that's exactly what Pasay did here in the second half. And also, Don Reverente played a big part in him getting denied a lot in that third quarter.
You could say he started it.
Another crack at it here for Nueva Ecija.
Oh, man.
Hamito misses. Still struggling from the field here, both of these teams actually. 1 out of 8 now para sa Nueva Ecija. Robles, can he end that long spell here for the Rice Vanguards? Will they give him continuation? I think our referee saying that that foul rather, was on the floor.
On the ground, right. And he knew he was in trouble the moment that downhill action from Billy started happening.
JC fakes left, goes right, and finishes with a left.
I seriously doubt he's going to miss that layup shot. He's done that a lot of times. Jab step going left and finishing with the right hand straight up in the middle.
Just his 6th point of the game for the former league MVP, JC Marcelino. Bonifacio banging bodies with Jammer Hamito, reliving that matchup that they've been having the whole game. Tabi falls away, jumper no good, still no field goal in the fourth para sa Pasay. JC Marcelino, 3 minutes left here in this game. Marcelino goes right again, left finish once again para kay JC Marcelino. Back-to-back hits for the former MVP.
And I've said this once again. If you're gonna allow a straight line drive on that lane side of the floor with a shooter in the corner, that is a tough coverage. Exactly what happened here. He's got a shooter on the dunker spot, and you left that side of the floor all open. This one's the layup. And see that there was really just no help on the shooter. Just one-on-one against a very skilled, strong finisher in JC.
You give up his strong side, but he still finishes on the other side with his strong hand. 74-70, Nueva Ecija up by 4. Shots of the crowd here at the Robert B. Estrella Senior Memorial Stadium in Rosales, Pangasinan, our venue for Day 2 of Season 7 of the Maharlika Pilipinas Basketball League, which is live on our Facebook and YouTube channels, as well as on Solar Sports, Digital Free TV Channel 21 in Mega Manila, Sky Cable Channel 70, and Cable Link Channel 58. Abby Palanya on the call, joined by Coach Mike Perez and Miss Mika Abisamis, who is at courtside. Ball is loose. Bonifacio and Hamito are on the floor, and a battle for it has ensued. A lot of intensity.
Yeah. And that's what you want to see from your players. I mean, in a close game like this, you want to see your best players have that intensity because it shows a lot of commitment to the team. And lalo na, bago to si Jammer Hamito, ah. And ganun din sa side ni Warren Bonifacio. He's not gonna give up that ball that easily.
So just the jump ball. Coronel will come in for Lawrence Victoria. This will be a defensive substitution for Coach Marlon Martin. 2 minutes and 37 remaining in this game. The Rice Vanguards looking to extend this 4-point lead to 6, maybe 7 with a 3-point shot. JC Marcelino has hit the last 2 baskets for Nueva Ecija. Crossover to the right. Marcelino gets hit in the air. It's takeover time para kay JC Marcelino.
When the game's this close, who do you go to? You go to an MVP. And JC is just, you know, a lot of times been there.
One of the 2 former MVPs on this Nueva Ecija squad, JC Marcelino. Of course, the other one is John Wilson. Marcelino only had 2 points in the first half, and now he's coming to life here in the final minutes of this game as we take a look at the crevices, looking on courtside as they support their squad who are looking to get the championship back. 76-70 now. Cyrus Tabi being guarded by Tosi Tancinco. There's a mismatch on Warren Bonifacio. JC Marcelino was on him.
Good look.
Bonifacio could have hit from the elbow. Possession secured for Nueva Ecija.
But that's been the cleanest look that Warren has had so far. A little misdirection to try to get it to the elbow and swing it over to the other side where Warren is.
Final 2 minutes of this game between Pasay and Nueva Ecija. JC has been their money man the past few possessions. Marcelino once again unstoppable to the cup.
Over and over again. Strong hand, lane side. That's tough. You got to get him to the middle spot where you have more hands that can actually help you out defending against it.
Ball screen set by Jammer Hamito, and then attacking the drop coverage, JC Marcelino with just a little head and shoulder fake, finishing with a left hand once again.
Ganda rin kasi na screen ni Hamito dun eh. Tamang-tama eh.
This could be a big one. Victoria Back irons the three, but JC Marcelino soaring for that rebound. Ahead to JV. JV Marcelino makes this a 10-point lead, 80-70. This is a 10-0 scoring blast by the Marcelinos alone.
Yep.
A minute and 28 remaining.
The Turbo Twins have heated up.
Definitely so, and Bonifacio has cooled down. Tabi loses it. Marcelino is on the ground, gives it to the other Marcelino. And JC gives it up to the Ilonggo Superman. 12-0 burst for the Nueva Ecija Rice Vanguards.
And when we talked about not committing a mistake, this is what we were alluding to against the Rice Vanguards. You turn it over, they run you the other way, and they've got guys that can finish on transition.
JC Marcelino going higher than everybody, and then forward to his twin brother JV with that difficult finish, offhand scoop, and then right here another sequence. Mastery over these Pasay Voyagers.
And the scoring numbers are pretty much similar.
And off the timeout, quick turnover off the inbound by the Pasay Voyagers. This is now a 14-point lead.
Right.
Pasay running out of time here. They definitely need a shot and a quick one here. 7 out of 16 field goals for the Rice Vanguards in the fourth. Pasay 0 out of 12.
And it's all because of the defense of Nueva Ecija. And there another turnover that's been forced by Nueva Ecija.
Pasay has 21 turnovers in this game, and I think the bulk of that in the second half coming here in the fourth quarter.
Right. It's when they really tightened up that screw, not allowing easy punches inside, easy baskets outside, and really just willing themselves to get that ball defensively.
And JC Marcelino up top, he has been the catalyst of this run for the Nueva Ecija Rice Vanguards. 12-0 burst. Tancinco will not take it. Absolutely no need to rush, and whatever happens, Nueva Ecija will be coming up with a victory here. Very comfortable 14-point lead on their hands. JV Marcelino, he too has been big time here in the fourth quarter for Nueva Ecija.
Yeah, not to take anything away from Pasay. Well, we talked about the record of Pasay from last season. They are 18-10, but boy, if you look at the list of teams that they actually beat from the 2024 season, listen to this. They beat Abra, they beat Batangas, they beat Rizal, they beat Binyan. I mean, those are big teams. They beat Quezon. Those are big teams that actually spell a lot. They do have that resolve to win against big teams, but this season they're gonna want some more.
Big win here to start the season for the Nueva Ecija Rice Vanguards, winning 84-72 against the Pasay Voyagers, reliving their mastery against this franchise. A lot of big contributors for Nueva Ecija in this game, Coach, but you really could not help but notice the confidence of every player coming inside to the game. This guy, he was big time all throughout, almost perfect for the entire game. Our 1xBet player of the game, Tosi Tancinco.
And he's due to have this kind of moment. I mean, he definitely earned this. His teammates trusted him. When he got the ball, he delivered. He still continued to play defensively. And what more can you ask from Tosi? This has been a really good game.
Of course, JC Marcelino with that big effort down the stretch to anchor that 12-0 run para sa Nueva Ecija alongside his brother JV Marcelino and Billy Ray Robles. So, these guys is really helping these Rise Vanguards get their first win of the season. Tosi Tansinko is at courtside with our very own Mika Abesamis.
Maraming salamat, tama ka, Javi. Kasama ko ngayon ang best player of this game. Walang iba kung hindi si Tosi Tansinko. Tosi, alam mo, throughout your career, napapansin ko na palagi kang naghahanap ng tiwala galing sa coach mo. Anong masasabi mo sa napakalaking tiwala na binigay ni Coach Don sa'yo ngayong gabi?
Unang-una nagpapasalamat ko sa Panginoon sa binigay na panalo. Sobrang chine-cherish ko lang or pinapahalagan ko lang binibigay na minutes sa akin. Pero kahit di man ako mapasok, ready lang ako. Ready kahit anong paggawa ng coach sa akin. Sobrang thankful ako tsaka sa management kila Mr. Bong Cuevas.
Alam mo, Tosi, bukod sa performance mo, na-compliment nung dalawang best friend mo, si JC tsaka si JV, yung performance mo kasi ang ganda rin ng pinakita nila sa fourth quarter. Klaro, kayong tatlo, nakuha nyo agad ang sistema ni Coach Don.
Sinusunod lang namin mga tinuturo ni coach and yung sistema namin, syempre di mawawala yun. At